What's up? Welcome to I'm Just Saying with the Bayou Mystic, where I talk about all kind of shit that's important to me, shit that may be important to you, but most importantly, shit that I'm passionate about. And what I'm passionate about today, is this pro-black terminology. Um, when I first got into or started learning my history, should I say, knowledge of self, not necessarily pro black, but when I started, getting into the whole journey of being more secure in yourself, my black is beautiful type shit, like, I would come across these positive words, these words that had obvious titles that come from culture, but was ultimately used to be able to uplift ourselves and just be like, hey, I'm human too. Just because I have a different hue than you do, just because my curls are a little bit more poppin' than yours, does not mean that our differences equals inferiority, equals not good enough, equals go kill yourself. You know what I mean? Or I have the right to kill you. So I'm just gonna go through a few words that I feel like need to be in our vocabulary as a American, a black American culture type thing. Even if you're first or second, third generation from the diaspora coming into this country. You know what I mean? Like, we need to speak words that are of value and positivity to each other only for the sole reason, not to take it literally, but only for the sole reason of I'm worthy. Like, period. Like, I'm worthy. Like, I'm a human being. I breathe oxygen just like you. I have the right to feel good about myself. I have the right to see myself as a good person that is capable of bad things, but a person nevertheless. Like, just a balanced human being to where it's just like, yeah, I may do some shitty shit in my life, but I'm constantly reminding myself that I can learn from this, that I can be better than this. And I deserve respect just like everyone else deserves respect. That type of mentality where it's like, you have to give respect to get it, type shit, to where it's just like, yeah, I may have my traumas and I may not have the best way of dealing with these traumas, but we're always going to move up. We're never going to go down or just stay stagnant. We're always going to elevate. So these are what these words mean, but let me stop babbling and just get to it. So, queen, king. I have to say that these black celebrities, I would say starting 2015, started taking some shit that from my first learning of it, and even a few years in just learning it, these words are supposed to be for upliftment of oneself, upliftment, my country ass, upliftment of another person that you are having conversation with. You know what I mean? And just like a cultural thing, not to be taken literally. Just because you call yourself a queen, just because you call yourself a king, does not mean you are a ruler of something. The only thing you rule is yourself. The only thing you can truly and utterly control is yourself. And sometimes not even that, because your body does what it's gonna do regardless. Like, you can't control necessarily when you die type shit. So, but let me stop. So, king and queen, it is meant to show you that, like, you have control over oneself. It's meant to show you that, your bloodline may not literally come from kings and queens, but this is within our culture as a people that, yes, Slavery happened, okay? Slavery happened, but that is not the beginning of where blackness was in this country or this world, if we can be honest. So just like the Europeans have kings and queens, we have ancestors, hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions, sometimes they keep secrets, years ago, where, yes, the Pharaoh, just a king, he was just a king. The people believe he was chosen by the gods themselves, okay? Anegus, just a royal title. Once again, something close to holiness, okay? So also, chiefs, things like that. Like it's meant, kings and queens are just meant for you to be reminded that as a people, as a skin folk, we're something much more than just the value of a chair. We are not property. We are human beings that were born free, and we should always be free. So it's just a reminder. I'm so sick of people, like the moment that Nick Cannon started his whole like pro-black tour, I don't know what the fuck this dude think he doing, but ever since then it's just this whole knowledge of self and being woke and being pro-black. It just turned into something that is honestly embarrassing. And I am genuinely ashamed at times of even considering myself a pro-black person, but we'll get into that shit later. So, gods and goddesses. I can definitely understand how people get taken back at times when they hear somebody refer themselves as a god or a goddess, but I will be the first to tell you always and forever, I believe men and women, even animals, are the divine feminine and masculine personification of what us human beings look like and our purpose of this world, of this physical world, should I say. So I feel like it's just much easier when you have somebody referring to themselves as God or goddess that in essence, they're just tapping into that divine masculinity. They're just tapping into that divine femininity when you talk about goddesses. Now, I have to say, I don't appreciate how I hear some men out here talking about God, this, God, this, God, this, God, that, the black man is God, so it must be respected. It's the closest thing. Like, no, ma'am, no, sir. Like, first of all, the woman is the portal, the divine, majestic portal. Okay? Like, this person is basically taking a train ride in your uterus, all right, to get to the destination of coming out of your vagina. And that is basically them being like, hello, I have arrived, and I am here to motherfucking stay. It can also be seen, sensitive subject for some women, where miscarriages happen. The woman is the portal to the world, and it is the choice of the soul whether the soul wants to be here or not. It is not our choice. The only thing that we can do as heterosexual people is just continue to, do some things, and then if that soul wants to be here, that soul's gonna be here, with or without your permission. So stop taking that literal, especially if you hear somebody be like, God, you're not God, goddess, you're not goddess. We are made in the Creator's image. We are here for a purpose that not everybody knows the answer to, but a purpose nevertheless. When somebody is saying God or goddess, of course it can be taken back. You can be taken back by hearing somebody say that, but somebody who truly knows themselves and basically the universe as a whole, when they refer themselves to gods and goddesses, it is to tap into that energy, that divine energy of whatever gender they are, because like you need that shit, just like there's both masculine and feminine within that person, but you come as this personification of that energy. So it's like they're trying to uphold that and tap into that to kind of make things, more, to make themselves more powerful, I guess you can think of that, in order to manifest and fulfill whatever purpose they came to this earth for. But you have these elites, these celebrities out here, and I'm gonna call out the black celebrities for this shit, using this shit out of context, and then their words not matching what they do, and they're not doing as they say. Say as you do, do as you say. And that's what's fucked up about like all these celebrities making this shit popular. Like, it really takes the power, the context, and the seriousness of this pro-black mindset away, because you have these people who have access to all kind of shit that they probably never had access to before, or they have access to all kind of shit that they're used to having access to, and then they end up doing some shit that is the complete opposite. Rich people shit, wealthy people shit. They end up doing some shit that is just like, god damn, like, how you gonna speak all this talk about, honor, respect, love, all this type of stuff, and be out here creating chaos? Like, I don't know how else to say it, to be honest, but I really see a decline in the need for black people in this country, in this world, to understand that you're human just like everyone else. You are worthy just like everyone else, and these are these words for. And last, but for damn sure not least, the word Hotep means peace. It's from, Kemet, one of the most ancient civilizations of our ancestors as a skin folk, that is not really, talked about, just like Kush, things like that, or whatever. It's not really talked about. And it goes on to what I have a problem with on the opposite side of the spectrum of, you're using positive words to insult people, but you uplift people with an insult. I don't get that shit. That shit's not cool. And if anything, because from my research, Hotep is used to basically describe a black supremacist, when that's like disrespectful as fuck. How you gonna use a word that means peace to me to describe somebody who is about dictatorship, being a tyrant, just doing shit in the community to just work for them and their picture of what blackness is, when blackness is a canvas, a collage of beautiful shit that us as individuals bring to this community. So it's just, it ain't it. That's all I have to say. It ain't it. And we really need to stop as a community allowing people to start creating this swirling, never-ending typhoon of chaos. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why on earth would you use a word that is positive, that's supposed to mean peace, togetherness, for an individual that is only using the knowledge that he or she has to oppress others? Like, why would you do that? And how could you live with yourself doing that? And I just feel like it's some elitist ass shit, to where it's just like, anyways, I'll move on. But we have to start using words for what they mean. Language is here for a reason. Words mean what they mean. And you need to start doing a little bit more research instead of hopping on the train, and just going along for the ride, probably into some molten lava, is what I see a lot of people on social media is getting into, or whatever. Like, you're really sitting up here not even having knowledge of self. It's really called knowledge of self. What these people are talking about and calling themselves pro-black, and using, the knowledge of the universe or the knowledge of self to make sense of what is going on racially in this world, it's fucking ass backwards. Like, universal spirituality does not translate well when it comes to political, racial issues in this country or in this world as a whole. Like, you can't make no sense out of that shit. Like, Anyways, so that's what I have on that. Like, these words that we have in, like, I know it's not a new age thing, but it's new for me. But in this generation, millennials, Gen Z, we need to leave that toxic shit behind. Like, we really do. We need to understand that there are things that are here for a reason, and we need to just utilize that shit and stop trying to erase and flip over and make things all brand new for no reason. There's other things that we can improve upon other than taking words that are titles of, worth and prestige and using them as phrases. And now we're sitting up here talking about queens with no queendom, kings with no kingdoms. Those words were never meant for you to literally think that you are a king and a queen and you should be treated as such. No. Too many chiefs and not enough Indians, okay? Like, that word, those words, these words are used for you to snap out of it with your inferiority complex, turning that shit into a superiority complex. And understand that you are worth it. That you are worthy of having people around you that love you, that respect you, that do not belittle you, that do not make you feel like because the way you look and the features that you came to this earth with, that you developed over time as you went through puberty, and your gender, your sexuality, you are worthy. And the way you are, as long as you ain't hurting yourself and nobody else, is perfect, is beautiful, and is valid. You deserve to be here. So yeah, this video long as fuck. Tell me what you thought about this. Even tell me some words that I never even mentioned that you feel like should not be used for what people are now using this shit for, and what people are turning, these pro-black terms, even these, Black American culture terms, into something that really should not exist. So yes, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in another episode. I'm just saying, because I gotta say a lot of shit. Bye.